So this guy is risen on these heads. Let's do this.
Something is skiddly, it's a lot of fun. Pickleball is skiddly.
It's something that...
So let's get into this. Now, for you guys and girls, so you guys might have seen a little shift in the channel, and this is a really important shift. Now, the language that you use in day-to-day life needs to be in a form of cultural shift that is happening, which is called internet culture, that all of you guys know. Now, this has been around, obviously, since the age of the internet, during pretty much the 2000s, but you could go into like the 1990s, etc. with this. So it's been around for a good 3 to 4 decades. And now we're heading into the stage where it's going to matter more than ever. Now, you guys and girls need to understand what I'm going to say here because it's really important for the future. The way things are shifting, there is an internet culture that is going to become the international culture of the world. Now, we're already going in this way with memes, with the language that is spoken, these weird, res, skibbity, blah, 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 right? Cringe, etc., bussin', all of these words. They seem like just words, but they are going to be the future of the way people speak internationally to each other, and there's several reasons for this. Now, nobody else has spoken about this, so if you can, grab a piece of paper and a pen to see actually how important this is for the future and where we're headed. Now, it's like this. The way the AI, robotics, 3D printing, nanotechnologies, gene editing, etc., all of the things that make us a cyborg in the future are going to transfer into our lives is the following. IoT is going to come together and bring everything together. The technologies of the future are going to be kind of hardwired or software wired to us, depending on what you use, through like Neuralink, etc. So the Internet of Things is going to be interconnected with us, and these devices are going to be all interconnected through Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc. to us as people. Now, that may seem like a scary thing, but just hear me out here with the way things will go. Now, because we're so interconnected, and we are already, right? This is an extension of our arm. So pretty much it is an extension of what a cyborg device would be, but it would be in us, like I've spoken about on this channel. You guys might see like the remote control connection that I talk about constantly, where you could literally go to someone and like change the lighting structure, etc., or change something remotely on another device that is robotic or whatever it is. It's the exact same thing here. Now, why that matters is this. The language that we use is going to be the international language that we use to communicate with each other, and it's going to kind of create a structure of our language put together in all of the cultures of the world that make us relatable to each other in a very deep way. Now, this is going to create a type of human language that is for humans that give us a differentiation between robots and the other, we'll say things, devices, objects, etc., that are going to exist in this world. And this cannot be understated, okay? Now, with the protests of robots and everything in between, you guys can see that people aren't liking the fact that they're taking jobs. I've put this in other videos constantly. Humans are the future, etc. People are worried about their place in the world, especially when it comes to like hobbies and work and creativity, and also just competing with a new species, etc., right? So they're going to look for as much uniqueness as possible with humans versus robots, and that's why this channel exists. So the international language will be English. No, I'm kidding. But that's the joke, right? The international language of English. No, the international language will be internet language, and it will create its own over time and create a possibility for us to interconnect with other people in a way that is difficult to do unless you either speak the same language or you can do these kinds of, I guess, when you're with people and you just can't speak the same language, but you can do like funny jokes, And that gives you the way of kind of connecting. It's non-verbal, right? That type of communication where you're like, you know what I mean? You don't need to say anything, right? Or, you know what I mean? Which equals eggplant. No, it equals water. So that kind of international language is going to come into internet language, and that's going to be the forefront of what makes us able to communicate with each other using IoT, etc. Now, I spoke about the language translation apps, etc. that exist, and how you can translate things on glasses and different devices, including your cell phone and like Google Lens, etc. And those exist, and that's the first step. But in terms of like the international language that we're going to be using, it will be internet language. It's crazy, right? Because like I said, with everything interconnected with IoT, they need a type of language to kind of speak, and that also differentiates us from robots. And because these robots as well are going to be in different languages themselves, like for example, if it's a Chinese robot, you guys see this all the time, right? Like my Xiaomi phone that I spoke about. The Xiaomi phone speaks, its AI speaks in Chinese by default, right? It's stuff like this. It's not able to translate, but it's able to understand certain language like cringe, etc., because that's an international language of the internet. It was created by the internet. So that is going to be the future language. So you guys might want to like study up on the languages of the future that we're going to be using. And yeah, it does include things like Riz, which equals charisma, bussin, delulu, delusional, etc. And it is important for that reason. Remember, the new generations that are coming into using devices, etc., by default, they are going to be leading this charge forward. They're going to be creating it, and they already are. Skibbity equals bad, right? There's so much, right? I could go through a whole list of them, and I might do for another video if you guys want me to, but realistically, here, by the way, is a big butt.
It's
A big
something that
girl, right?
you're very
So,
good
a
at.
big girl. A big butt of a girl. Yeah. So, it's, like I said, it's impossible to kind of help you guys understand without giving you guys like massive insight, etc., into like the background of it. But just like Skibbity was an anime, you guys know this, just like Skibbity was bad in the animation and it turned into something that is named for bad, it's the exact same thing, like bussin equals cool, where another thing made that a reality. So for you guys and girls, again, in the generations before, you guys need to read up on this because it will be really important for the future, and it will also help you to understand the versions of videos that you guys are going to see in the future. Because trust me when I say this, people are going to start more and more over a lengthy period of time using this type of language constantly in their videos to help them kind of be unique, stand out, and give them a future on these platforms going into Web 3.0, which again equals censorship, etc., where you give your information, you choose to give your information and identity or not to other people. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be something where you need to be really attractive, and it's that kind of language that we've spoken over millions and millions of years that gives us that attractiveness that brings us together, right? It's going to be the human language of the world. Amazing? Yeah. Scary future, I get it. Check out the other videos if you are a bit afraid of what's going to be happening, because it's going to happen really fast and it's going to hit you like a train. Catch you guys for the next one soon.